What do you think, Graham? From this time last year till now, kind of a lot of progress I imagine you've seen from the program, from your offense?
For sure. I think that just a lot of the guys have, having a year of experience makes a huge difference. And so everything just kind of runs smoother. Guys kind of know what we're trying to accomplish. We do have obviously a lot of new faces, which has been fun. But having experience around them also, I think helps them get up to speed a lot quicker. So obviously from this time last year, there's a ton of new faces. But even from last January, December, there's quite a few new guys here. And but like I said, it's been fun. It's a fun team to coach right now. They're doing what I think they're really bought in. They're doing what we're asking them to do. And they say competing back and forth. I think there's a lot of back and forth, which throughout the spring there's been a lot of good back and forth, which I think is a good thing. And so we just have to continue to try to improve.
A lot of receivers that are new faces. Just internal competition, I'm sure, has been maybe not a bloodbath, but guys stepping up their game, trying to earn those spots going into the fall.
For sure. I think that at the receiver position and the O-line position are probably the two positions that we added the most people from last fall, because those rooms were kind of small and needed depth. So we went out and got quite a few new faces in those rooms. But like you said, one, I think it's great because we brought in some talented dudes, but two, it also pushes the guys that are here because I think competition makes everyone play better, and so I think in both those rooms there's been a ton of improvement, even from guys that were here last year. Again, one, they're more experienced. Two, there's a lot of good players behind them, or a lot of good players in the room with them, and so it's making those guys raise their level of play too. And so competition makes everyone better. I think it's been good for us as a team, competing within the room and then competing against each other. And like I said, hopefully we continue to improve for the rest of the spring, going into fall, and can do some good things this fall.
What are you hoping to see in the spring game on Saturday?
Spring games are always tricky. I just hope we go there and execute. And I think that and part of it, what our defense does is creates negatives. You know what I mean? But I think that one theme that we've talked about with our offense throughout the entire spring is try to minimize negatives. When if you're just, even if it's 3rd and 10, you got a chance. But when you start getting to 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20s, you're really not even giving yourself a chance to continue to move the sticks. You know what I mean? And so if we can eliminate negative plays, obviously it makes us a whole lot better offense. And like I said, our defense, I think because of what they do schematically, creates negatives. And so, I think the most important thing for us on Saturday, what I hope that we see on Saturday is that, hey, move the football, just 11 guys doing their job. And if that happens, you're normally not going backwards. And like I said, if you can stay ahead of the sticks or just even not get behind the sticks, then you have a chance to continue to get first downs. And so that'll be big for us. Like I said, on Saturday, I think the format will be, we'll see what that looks like exactly. But just guys doing their job to eliminate negative yardage plays.
The progress you're allowed to make when I think last fall you were almost pulling people out of the stands to play offensive line.
Yeah.
So just having that amount of depth and such to get progress, get work, and know that you have enough guys to do it. How far ahead are you just because you've got able bodies now?
Yeah, that's been towards the end of last year we couldn't even hardly practice. When we went team periods, it was basically walkthroughs. Then if we wanted to get full speed reps, we had to do 7-on-7 because we didn't, we hardly had 5 linemen to practice, and we tried to get them to Saturdays. And then this spring we came out and we can go 3 full offensive lines. You know what I mean? So we can practice all day, but especially at that position. So that's been awesome, and because no matter how good you are, I think that reps and seeing things and getting full speed experience goes a long ways for you. And so we've been able to do that. Like I said, there are quite a few new faces in there, so getting a ton of reps has been really good for those guys because it's just building reps in our scheme. And then like I talked about earlier, other guys see, man, those guys are good football players. I better raise my level of play if I want to get on the field. So the internal competition has been awesome. But I also think for the entire unit, quarterbacks in particular, if that room plays well, it's a lot easier for you to play well. And so having that kind of depth and being able to practice, and being able to get a ton of reps with them, and having quality depth has been good for the entire football team. It makes, like I said, in my opinion, if you're pretty good up front, you got a chance on offense, and if you're not, you're going to be in trouble. And I think we got a chance to do some good things up front this year.
How much more are you able to do the second year with Hudson? You have a quarterback that's been in the system for a year.
Yeah, I think that you can do about anything with Hudson right now, and he just understands it. You know what I mean? Coach Leach told me this one time when I was playing, though, because I always wanted, like, Coach, we can do more. And he's like, it's not about what you can do, it's what the other 10 guys can do. You know what I mean? And so I think that's kind of the balancing act with an experienced quarterback like that is, and a guy that Hudson's the type of guy, like, we could sit here and have a conversation just like we're having and then go and tell him this is what we're about to do, go out there on the field, and it looked like he's had a million reps in it. You know what I mean? Like, he just understands things, he sees things. So year two in the system, now every now and then I would just draw a play up on the sideline. Hey, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. We'll see how it works. But most of the time, like I said, it's I think he understands everything we're trying to do. I think he's got a great grasp of it. He's very comfortable with it. So as far as what he can handle from a mental standpoint, from an execution standpoint, I think we can throw about anything out there, and he's fine. It's going to be what can the other 10 handle is going to be how much we can actually do. You know what I mean? Because you don't want those guys thinking either. But when the quarterback, most of the time, if he can get them right, like you can do a lot more. And so having Hudson is definitely a luxury, especially in a second year situation. So if you look at how he started playing, like his last 2 games against Minnesota last year, against Indiana last year, he did some really special things and got us out of some trouble. And not only, like, there were some plays that should have been sacks, and he ends up having explosive runs on them, you know what I mean, and did some Superman things. And hopefully, like, that's the standard of play now. You know, that's what we talk about with him. Like, that's your standard. You know what I mean? Like, that's not like, oh, that was an exceptional game from moving forward. Like, that's got to be the standard he plays at. And if he does, you'll have a chance to win a lot of football games.
What's the backup QB spot look like?
We got a lot of guys that are all getting a lot of reps and competing for it. You know what I mean? And so I think that all those guys, the spring's been great for them. But the thing about it is, like, they just need reps. And that's where, Hudson, I think, just understands things naturally. And so, but he also has a lot of reps. So that helps because he's got a lot of experience. You know, I think at all those guys behind him, we've been trying to really get as many reps as possible. And for a while, we were two-spotting a lot of things whenever, all rooms were still healthy early in the spring. As much as anything, that was for the quarterback position, to try to get those guys reps, get them experience. And so there's a lot of guys in there and a lot of young guys that haven't played a ton of college football. And so, I think that what you see with a lot of the guys behind Hudson, what I talk about him the most is, like, there just has to be a little more of consistency. You know what I mean? Like, you see a gigantic splash play and you're like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And then the next play, you're like, wow, that's really dumb. You know, like, there's got to be some happy medium in there. Like, yeah, like, there's going to be some, and part of that's experience. Like, there's going to be some growing pains, but, like, let's try to get, like, some routine plays somewhere in there. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be either home run or strikeout. Like, let's get some singles and doubles, like, or whatever. So I think that's where where we're trying to grow that, the people behind Hudson the most is just consistency, and like I said, I love big plays, but not every play is going to be a big play. And so, like, there's got to be routine plays made consistently.
Who's gonna be the number 1 quarterback on the second team offense on Saturday?
I don't know. I would think that, like I said, we'll just roll them all through there and hopefully try to equal out the reps as best we can because I do think that, and I don't know what the crowd exactly will be like, but so I think what's been cool this spring, like, okay, we're practicing the indoor, and then on Fridays we've been able to get in the stadium, you know what I mean? And, like, last Friday we scrimmaged in the stadium, and so it's like, I think all those experiences are great for those guys, and it's all kind of a new experience, you know what I mean? You're getting reps in the stadium, the meaningful reps in a stadium, you know what I mean? And so, like, it's a new experience. Now you put some people in the crowd, I think it'll be awesome to see, like, how those guys can respond to that. And again, I'm sure it's not the same pressure as a game, but you're having to perform in front of an audience in a pretty awesome venue. Like, it'll be good to see, like, how guys respond to that. Obviously, like I said, Hudson's played a lot of football games in a lot of places. He should be fine. The other ones, there'll probably be a little bit of nerves in there, and hopefully they handle it great and go execute, but that'll be a great experience for them.
Last year you said you love the tight end room on this team, and then Max obviously gets hurt after a great start. He says he feels great. Do you kind of see that return to form from him?
Yeah, I think that yeah, he's looked good. He's looked really good, and we've tried to be smart with his reps this spring, just coming off of the injury. But when he's out there, he can do some great things, and it's a luxury. Like, this is the first place I've been where we've had like really good tight ends. I mean, that are threats. In the pass game and stuff to the level they are, and so they just make you so versatile. And that room still like this spring, we're still getting trying to keep Max healthy, so limiting his reps, and a couple other guys are in and out with some injuries, and so there hasn't been like a ton of depth in that room this spring, but I think that's a great room still. And when that room's fully healthy and fully going, they can be fun with, like, I think we could get some different personnels and create some matchup issues when people or make some people make some decisions and figure out how they can get aligned to it, and or how they want to match us. And so that room, like I said, that just gives you flexibility. That's an awesome room too. Like, not only do we have good football players in there, we got really, really good people, and that makes it fun to coach them.